Welcome back to Mostly Superheroes here in the basement, St. Louis, Missouri, and it's all about the movies today. Yes, you know we love the movies. We spend a lot of time there, and now we get to spend some time with a local friend. You've heard us talk about our screen and socials, our extended movie experiences that we host at a local movie theater. You've heard us partner up with Team Jakey, Charity on Tap, and Citywide. Some funds raised for our friends over at Team Jakey, and all of that is happening at Alamo Drafthouse St. Louis, and we're really lucky and proud today to bring on a friend of Alamo, someone of the Alamo team, Mark Bluestein, programming manager and special screenings coordinator. Welcome to Mostly Superheroes, Mark.
That's awesome. I love that. That's fantastic.
Welcome, man.
Yeah, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing okay. How are you? Welcome
Very
to
good.
the studio for the first time.
I love it. It is very cool down here. And I've seen it like when we've talked, online just doing our meetings. But once you're here, you get the full effect of how great all of this stuff is.
Well, it means a lot to me that, coming from you as a programmer over at Alamo, where it's just kind of like elevated experiences, good private events, the movies, your guys' style of the movies is why I came to Alamo in the first place. Get there early, turn your phone off, see the pre-show, order stuff at your seats, and you do have a background in TV, broadcasting, maybe radio. Is that right?
Yes. So I started at Broadcast Center, which is no longer a thing. Before I started there, the studio was on Hampton. It was the old Q104 studios. You remember that? So
Slightly.
So we did that, and I did that for a while, and then I went back and started learning TV and video production. I ended up graduating and getting married around the same time. So it was a lot pushed into one. And then I actually started teaching there after I did an internship down at KDHX, television, Double Helix, all of that good stuff for Charter. Did a little show there called Films in Black and White, where a buddy and I would do like a top 5 list of best dramas, best comedy. And we started like whittling it down after a while because we were running out of topics. But we would do like, best superhero female or something. We'd always have something that was really different than any other show. If you were watching like Siskel and Ebert or something like that online, it was very much the same.
Wow, that's awesome. So what was your road from that area to Alamo? Like, what was your journey? What was that journey?
I think my best education was just watching movies, renting movies. I had my parents gave me a video card from a grocery store, National, if anyone remembers that.
Oh my gosh.
Became Schnucks. And my mom worked there for a time, so I was able to, they didn't mind rating wise. I could rent whatever I wanted. And that was probably also a hindrance because I saw way too much too soon. And it was a lot like Scarface, Platoon. Some of it I probably shouldn't have seen when I was 13, 12. And I did the same thing for my son as well. So he's just as corrupt as I am.
Let's say you seem fine. Scotty on our show does the same thing. It's kind of like your own discretion. I definitely know the loose and fast rules of grocery store video marts.
Right.
I remember, I was a young kid getting to pick out stuff. Again, The rules were loose and fast. It was not a Blockbuster. I think you saw that I worked at a movie gallery.
Yes.
That was where I got my first binge on before it was binging, I swear.
So I did Hollywood Video and Blockbuster. I worked at both. I liked Hollywood better. Blockbuster had a lot more rules. Hollywood was a little bit more loose. But the best thing was that we could get free movies.
Yep.
So I didn't have to pay for them, and that was where my check would always go anyway. So, the collection that I have and that I've collected over the years, I've even started saying to my son, like, look, we got to get rid of some of this. It's way too much physical DVD, Blu-ray. But we've got all kinds of stuff. But I really, I got to Alamo. I saw an ad on LinkedIn, and it said that they needed a 35 millimeter projectionist. And I was like, wait, I can do that. I did it in high school for Warenberg Theaters.
Warenberg.
Yeah, right. And you remember the old the theme song at the beginning where it just kind of came in that ba 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 ba. That was famous.
Oh yeah.
So they changed that, right? So 95, 96 was about the time that I started working there, and they graduated into something else as far as the song goes. But that was like for years, even when I was a kid, that was the thing. So I learned there from a very seasoned guy who was ex-military. And he made sure that, when I think I was 17 at that point, 17, 18, that I learned everything. And I never forgot it, even, 30 years ago to now. It was like the minute I started touching it and, looking at it, I was like, oh yeah, that's how this works. This is how we do that. And then they had already hired a programmer. but he didn't work out. So I kind of said, look, I sort of know how to, pick movies. Let's see what happens. And we're still here today, 2.5 years later.
2.5 years later.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
So
And
it's good.
and I've seen you. I follow you on LinkedIn. I saw like you're pretty much saying like you're living the dream.
And that's what it is.
Does it really feel like that still? Like just you're living in movies
Absolutely.
every day.
There are times where like I'll
The admin get you.
yes, and I'll go home and I'll just need like to be quiet for 30 minutes.
Right.
And before it was always movies, TV shows, some radio, but I mean mostly that's what always got me. That was my free time. Now that I'm actually getting paid for it. Like if I realized a few months ago I was on a flight. Normally I would like line up everything I was going to watch. I pretty much just slept the entire
I totally
the
get that.
entire flight.
It's like you take time off from
Yeah.
watching.
Nobody could get a hold of me. Everything was great. And I just thought, you know what? This is the moment where I can just sack out. No one's going to say anything.
That's
So,
awesome. I have
yeah.
to. I have basically at this point have to be like, if I'm gonna watch this, either I'm gonna work or not. Decide now
Yep.
and not don't keep one foot it because I end up taking notes and
Absolutely.
and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm working. This is literally supposed to be like my feet up time,
Right.
and it's actually helped me be healthier. Like I started, like you said, put the screen away, go for
Mhm.
a. I usually say like, let's go for a walk, or I'll be like, let's do yoga. Like it's helping me work out more because I live in it so much that I take time to walk away from it. So
You
that's
have to.
it's really interesting.
Right. And I would never think that it would ever get not boring, but just so like you do movies so much. We're on the phone with different studios and we're on the phone with our buyer. And it's just, it's a daily thing. And once you get to Friday, you're already set for the weekend. You're going to live and die by the titles you have.
Mm.
And then Monday morning starts all again. And I said recently that to my wife that now Sunday nights now almost feel like a school day, like the night before the Monday school starts. So
Yeah.
that's what it is. But we have, I mean, I love it. It's just there is something about having the freedom to just know the market. I kind of I've been around St. Louis all my life, so when I was a kid, we hung out at the Tivoli, and that was our thing.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of movie knowledge from just watching documentaries and art house, and right around the time we kind of got into it, it was Kevin Smith, Quentin Tarantino, and so you had all their new movies. I mean, they were new on the scene. It was Clerks and Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs,
Wow. Yeah.
and so just seeing all of that from the stuff that I had watched prior, I had never seen anything like even Clerks and Clerks. I went on a date, and I remember watching it and thinking, oh, it'll just be another comedy movie. And then it was like what it was. And I kind of looked at the girl I was with and she kind of gave me a look and I knew it was never going to go further than that night.
That was how you knew.
Oh, yeah. Because I was laughing way too hard.
Oh man, that's so. We watched Clerks and the full like I guess trilogy or I mean it's
Sure.
a universe.
It is now.
It is
Yes.
now, and I was like, wow, these are like you said, very different. Like it was kind of missed on me at a young age, and coming back, those are some of the best movies made.
Yes.
It's like super bold too, and
Right.
like risk taking, but like payoffs that you're like, whoa, that was really good, scene after scene.
And it was just, even though Tarantino's theme and model is kind of the 70s, we really, like I had never watched anything that looked like that or felt like that until he came on the scene. And then I was really like going back and watching anything that influenced him,
Mm-hmm.
and then started getting into directors more so like Scorsese and we all knew about Spielberg, but I always wanted to go to different directors and just do a whole series of their films.
Oh yeah,
And that way I can kind of gather what's going on and everything about them.
yep.
And so that's, I mean,
Know what you're stepping into.
exactly.
It's really it makes it a little bit more. You can appreciate things more, have certain things to look for. It's also kind of like when a musical artist has like an album, like it's just like the album has a certain tone.
Yep.
All right, we're talking about all these different movie lanes, and we're going to tell you about what's going on at the Alamo because you guys have really great programming as
Thank
the
you.
programming manager.
Appreciate it.
But
Thank
pat on the back to you. So before we do that, I guess kind of the last question for you personally: what type of movies are you into most? What are some of your hits, and where do you kind of gravitate?
you. My thing is I mean, if it's a good movie like Sinners last week,
Oh man,
I will watch it. And
Scotty
love
can't
every
stop
second.
talking
Oh,
about it.
It
Saw
was
it
so good.
in the Big Show.
Yes.
And he said it's like one of the best movie he's seen all year so far.
And that's exactly what I said when I left. Yeah,
Okay.
there is just something about it. You almost forget that you're watching a horror movie until the first 90 minutes. And there's such story building in it. Each character almost gets 15 minutes of screen time. So you know what their motivations are for the rest of the movie
Oh,
when the horror starts. So it was just a unique approach. It's the biggest selling horror film of all time at this point. I mean, and it's going to make a chunk of money this weekend too.
And here's the hook: if you didn't know if you were going to see this or not, Michael B. Jordan plays him a twin, or there's
Right.
two roles, I'll say,
Yep.
without getting into any specifics. That was the hook for me. And when I told my wife that, she was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." Like everyone's face, your brain. I was like, you know what? I don't know what's going on in this movie. It's really crazy. Scotty said like all these different words. Like, he's like, this is like a superhero, like supernatural, like horror movie.
Yes,
He's like,
absolutely was.
it's checking a lot of boxes. So Sinners. All right, what else? What are you liking? I guess
My
lately or forever.
forever it would be, I started with Jaws. That was my first like entry into VHS tapes. My dad would bring them home, and that was the first one he brought.
We're gonna need a movie job.
And
That's what you were thinking.
yes, I got to get into this business. And then I just started, about 13 or 14, I just started really getting into gangster movies, martial arts, superheroes, and it just kind of built from there. It was always, those are the movies I would watch or look for when I went to Blockbuster, Hollywood kind of thing.
Very
And
cool.
and horror is a deep influence for me. And I think if you look at the Alamo programming, you'll see that we try and do different horror stuff. We just put up Clown in a Cornfield, which is really, I mean, it's a solid flick. I was able to see it early, and the kind of plot seems familiar, but then it's gets you at the end. And so, I mean, it's stuff like that. We do a lot of, and that's cool. That's what's cool about the Alamo is that we really are allowed to go as deep as we want, just so we bring in an audience.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be able to do that at any other theater here.
Meaning you can like pick out more random titles
Absolutely.
and you have a more variety, and you guys do new stuff, old stuff. And I'm thinking about like the order of doing this stuff. I think it's like good to get you coming in. I'd love to get you coming in regularly
Oh,
to
absolutely.
tell us what's in the movies. Like, because this will come out, it always comes out quickly. This will be, we're recording, it'll come out within a day or two.
Okay.
So, like we can talk about stuff that's in right now, but also as part of this kind of like fire hydrant episode, I want to talk about the different programming that you
Perfect.
have, because you
Yeah.
have the new releases, you have Only at the Alamo, and I'm a huge fan of the season pass. That's $20 a month,
Yes, it is.
up to one movie per day, unlimited otherwise. Me and the whole crew have it.
Yep.
And it's getting us to where we're looking for all sorts of movies. And your website's great. So where would you like to start? You want to do some new releases? Would you like to talk about what programming would you like to talk about? Manager of programming, Mark.
Let's go ahead and do new releases. We can start there and just kind of work our way down.
And I mean, the website's where I'm telling people to go. That's where people should spend time, right? To really get to know your programming.
Absolutely.
So,
And the thing is, if they look on the website or they look at the app, it's going to show almost the exact same format on both.
oh, great. Yeah, the app is, I was going to say, I have the app on my phone. It's like the formatting is very similar.
Yep.
It's really easy to navigate. If you're on a website, it's drafthouse.com/St-Louis. And then it's the Alamo Drafthouse app on your phone. And that's exactly what me and Mark are looking at right now. We're not doing anything else but looking at this website. So we talked about Sinners. You have The Accountant 2, the Ben Affleck sequel, where they bring in, what's his name that played Shane, and he plays the Punisher. What's his name?
John Bernthal.
John Bernthal. So
Yeah.
The Accountant 2, here we go. And I mean, I'm going to skip the Thunderbolts
I was just
asterisk.
going to say, right.
May 10th. I mean, come see it with us at Alamo and the Big Show at noon. There, I said it. What else is out that you would like to plug?
Until Dawn is this weekend. There's Clown in a Cornfield. The Star Wars re-release is going to be huge.
Oh, this is the Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3. My favorite prequel is back in the theaters for the 20th anniversary. What's the timing on this? I think that's the biggest question. Like, when will this be back in theaters and for how long?
So it's going to come this Friday, and it's only going to be there for a week.
So this is April 25th for 1 week?
Correct.
Perfect. We'll get this out in time for that. You can go see, again, my favorite prequel movie in the theaters.
And we are not doing it in the Big Show, but we are doing it in one of our larger theaters. So the screen will be still amazing. The sound will always be great. And that's something that Alamo really focuses on, is the quality of the presentation, the picture, the sound. And I recently went to another theater in St. Louis. I won't say which one.
Sure.
But I went and we watched an old Hitchcock movie, and it looked and sounded really bad. And I kind of talked to someone that works at Alamo and also knows some folks at different theaters. And I said, what do you notice that? He goes, you'll notice it more because you work here. Otherwise, a lot of folks they want picture and sound, but they don't care what it looks like. And for us to
You
do
can
this
tell the
job,
difference.
you really can.
Yeah.
And our projectors are 4K, state of the art, nothing cheap about them. And they really, I mean, the presentation always looks fantastic. It has to. I mean, that's what Alamo almost stands on.
And it's good to talk big picture about Alamo as a national company.
We are.
Right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's like 25 plus locations. It looks like I saw. I don't know what the exact number is.
Yeah, I think we've got
Maybe more?
30 and 30 plus at this
Yes.
point.
Don't let me sell you short.
No,
You got
that's
more than that. It's
yeah.
across the U.S.
Correct. It started in Texas,
Right.
and just kind of branched out from there. So now we've got California, New York, and Boston, and Florida, and Chicago, and
How do
so
you tell someone that doesn't know anything about the Alamo what the Alamo is?
we're a movie theater for a movie lover. And while that could be said for any theater that you're,
Mm.
prone to going, the minute you walk in the doors of our establishment, even if it's here or it's in Brooklyn, you're going to go into our theme at our theater is comedy.
Mm.
But each theater, even in Springfield, Missouri, our other sister store, if you will, their theme is science fiction. So they've got some really cool old school Mondo posters of Planet of the Apes and everything. So you're almost instantly put into a world where you can see it's not just movie posters hung on a wall.
Yeah.
We've got the frames and the old school posters, and we do a lot of things to make sure that the folks that know movies know that Alamo is here, and that's what we do.
Why did we even record here is the real question.
We could totally go there now.
Well, we're going to have to do
Yeah.
that because you talked about, I mean, you're great sale pitch. You're built for this.
Thank you.
Company man in the best way. And when I walk into that lobby, that's what I feel. Like I
Right.
don't want to leave. It's on the tables, it's on the walls, the giant frames, the bathrooms, some of the nicest bathrooms that you got in town, and still movies and the comics everywhere.
Right.
And then you mentioned like you're doing like speaking events and like special events at the movies. So we talked about some of the regular movies that if you want to be in the public and do it, but you got private events that you can book, the theaters, of course. When I'm looking to catch the latest flick or indulge in a film classic, there's no place like the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema at the City Foundry, St. Louis, Missouri. It's where cinema and comfort collide, with plush seats, state-of-the-art visuals, and a menu that's a blockbuster in its own right. For you movie buffs that can't get enough, check out the Alamo Season Pass. For just $19.99 a month, you can watch as many movies as you want, up to one per day. It's the ultimate ticket for those who live and breathe movies. That's not all. The Alamo Drafthouse is more than just movies. It's an experience, with events that celebrate film culture, trivia nights that test your movie knowledge, and a bar that's a tribute to cinematic absurdity. It's the ultimate hangout for anyone who loves a good story. You can also book the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema for your private events, birthdays, celebration, corporate events, or even staple events like our Screen and Social. So whether you're a diehard cinephile or just in for a good time, join me and the crew at 3765 Foundry Way in St. Louis, Missouri. Dive into their showtimes and events at www.drafthouse.com. And don't forget to tell them Mostly Superheroes sent you, because every movie night should be legendary. Our Screen and Social, May 10th, 2025 at Alamo Drafthouse, St. Louis. See the movie with us. Tickets are on sale. That's Saturday, May 10th. Movie at noon. Tickets are on sale right now. And yes, we got the big show. That's the big screen, the big theater. A 12 p.m. movie. Buy tickets now at mostlysuperheroes.com/events. Come for a movie and so much more. This is the extended movie experience. We're going to have prizes. We're going to have surprises for us as we're coming out of the theater. We'll be at the Alamo in the beautiful City Foundry. This is May 10th. 2025, movie at noon. Tickets are on sale. mostlysuperheroes.com/events. Come see it with us. Win some stuff. Have some fun. And again, lots of surprises in store for a fun Saturday at Alamo. Hey, it's Logan from Mostly Superheroes, and we're teaming up with Team Jakey and Four Hands Brewing Company to bring you some awesome community events. Free-to-play TV and film trivia bingo. Thursday night, April 24th. Mark your calendars. Come out to Four Hands Brewery, downtown location. Doors open at 5. Bingo from 6 to 9. Play solo or with a team and have a good time with Team Jakey, Mostly Superheroes, some surprise guests, and amazing prizes from all your favorite local businesses like Steve's Hot Dogs, Four Hands Brewing Company, The Royale Food and Spirits, The Gramophone, The Voltron Store, City Winery, St. Louis, and many more. We'll see you Thursday night, April 24th. Come out for TV and film trivia bingo and find all of our event information at mostlysuperheroes.com/events. And we have an announcement. Taps for Team Jakey is back. Sam Zeller, how are you, man? Welcome back.
Better after this news.
This is good news.
This is long time coming. 8 years plus since we've had this event, so this is going to be great.
May 22nd at the Four Hands downtown. Yeah, we got a mutual friend in Four Hands. You guys have been working with him forever. And May 22nd, mark your calendar, 2025, Team Jakey's back.
Yeah, I want to pack the place.
Yeah.
As much as they'll let us.
Hi, everyone. I'm interrupting this podcast to talk about another podcast. Hi, I'm Randy Naughton. You know that lady from TV for so many years? Well, I too have a podcast called More to Say with Randy Naughton. Interesting conversations with interesting people. And when I say interesting, I mean amazing people. What about the Mac Daddy of all sportscasters, Bob Costas? Phyllis from The Office. Phyllis Smith is her name. Alan Hunter, one of the original MTV VJs. We talk to people about medicine, about tech, about travel, you name it. Great conversations. Now, they're, again, not interviews, they're conversations. So you never know where they're going to take us. Make sure when you're done with this podcast, check mine out. It's called More to Say with Randy Naughton, available wherever you stream your podcast.
Hey, superhero fans, it's Logan here from Mostly Superheroes. To celebrate 40 years of Voltron, we've got something truly special for you. The Little People Collector Voltron 40th Anniversary Gold Label Set. This buildable set features the 5 original Defenders: Keith, Lance, Pidge, Hunk, and Princess Allura. Each figure comes with a helmet featuring a metallic finish and clear visors, except for Pidge, who needed room for his glasses. But that's not all. These Space Explorer figures are packaged in individual lions that you can assemble to form the mighty robot Voltron, ready to defend the universe from King Zarkon and his nasty Robeasts. Head to store.voltron.com, linked up in the description of this podcast episode, and snag yours today. You can get 15% off your order by using promo code MOSTLY at checkout. That's store.voltron.com, and remember to use promo code MOSTLY. Hey squad, Logan here. You know what keeps our adventures fueled? The incredible brews from Four Hands Brewing Company. They've been our go-to craft brewery since 2012. Our studio fridge is always stocked with their finest, from Citywide Light to Incarnation to Divided Sky to Chocolate Milk Stout, along with the latest seasonal and small batch releases. Whether you're downtown, Kirkwood, the district in Chesterfield, or passing through St. Louis Lambert Airport, Four Hands has you covered. Grab a cold citywide. They're a philanthropic brew created to give back to the St. Louis community. Since its launch in 2016, Citywide has raised over $300,000 for local nonprofits. For every case sold, $1 is donated to carefully selected charities. If you're in the mood for something different, check out Four Hands Extended Family 1220 Spirits and Withered Oak. They've got cocktails, seltzers, and non-alcoholic options to quench any thirst. And a special deal for you Mostly Superheroes fans. Mention Mostly Superheroes or the password MOSTLY to your bartender at any Four Hands location and you get your second beer free. Must be 21 years of age to redeem. Again, go to any Four Hands location, mention Mostly Superheroes, password MOSTLY, and get your second beer on us and Four Hands. Limited time promotion. Get it while supplies last. Visit them in person or head over to fourhandsbrewery.com. Follow them at Four Hands Brewing Co. on Instagram and social media. Cheers to great beers and even better times with Four Hands Brewing Company. But like speaker series, stuff like that, what else you guys got going on?
So we have Mostly Superheroes, which,
Thank you for having us since 2023 now.
Yes, and the
Screen
screen
Social.
socials are fantastic.
Thank you.
I mean,
it's nice to hear someone else say it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and that's something like you said when we try to we're getting special events and speaker series. We also want to reach out to folks that have groups themselves that are coming to see movies, and whether that you have a group of 5 or you have 10 or you have 100. We can accommodate that. And normally we want to make sure that they know we care. It's not just going to a theater and grabbing a popcorn and a soda and watching a movie. It's let's talk about the movie afterwards. Let's really get into a deep discussion and have some fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
And Alamo is almost founded on that. That's what our folks that built this whole thing was about. Started in a little basement shack kind of thing in Austin. And it really built from there. They'd have VHS nights and different little things, and then they'd serve some food with it. And that's where this whole thing kind of came from.
No concession lines.
None.
You sit in the most comfy chairs in town. The
They're
chairs,
very nice.
you talk about the chairs at St. Louis movie theaters, they're getting worse and worse.
They are.
And these are getting better and better. You put your feet all the way up, ordering the drinks, pushing the button, writing it down. The staff is so great. And then I love the early pre-shows, like the custom pre-shows that you do.
Those are awesome.
Those are really
Yeah.
good, well done. Just little tidbits, maybe some history, like that context to get you in the mood. And that 30-minute window before the movie. Like,
Right.
I love that. I love getting there early and staying late.
And that's something that we should probably point out, is that when you look at the website and you see the showtime, you figure that 30 minutes before that is when the pre-show is going to happen. So that the thing on the app, the time
Is the movie start.
is the preview start.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing about Alamo, is that we're not going to let you in late. We don't want anyone to find their seats in the dark or make a bunch of noise. There's no cell phones. And we have really made sure that is one of our hard and steadfast rules.
Sure, yeah. You just get there on time before the movie starts.
Right.
It's part of it, just because you're trying to just protect the experience for everybody that's paying to come out and have a good night. Like, it makes total sense.
And it's a fun date night. It's a fun, event for a family birthday party, something like that. And you were talking about the events. We also do birthday parties. We do, folks came in for a Final Four basketball tournament and split screened everything and watched 4 games at one time.
Nice.
So we have all those capabilities, and it's a lot of, there's a lot of work that goes into it, but when it really, you see everyone happy and they're saying how great it was, it really, makes you keep wanting to do it.
Yeah, and you do custom events.
Yes.
Our first screen and social was super custom. We did a serve yourself brunch in the lobby. So, like, that was awesome.
That was with Spider-Man, wasn't it?
It was actually The Flash.
Okay. All right.
It was The Flash, the Ezra Miller Flash movie, which, had its problems.
It did.
Honestly, just the marketing, I think. I think if they would have gone back and not revealed a certain something, if you haven't seen it yet, don't go to the internet and just go watch that movie, because I think it actually would have been not bad had they would have done it. But the experience at the theater, though, was perfect. It was just warm and inviting. And I mean, we haven't really shouted out locally the City Foundry, just the
Right.
amazing air-rated, huge, 2-level, 3-level, really, with like expat down there now and everything.
Right.
City Foundry is just awesome, and it's a great place for foot traffic. It's a place to walk around. There's a fresh time there if you need to go grocery shopping. City Wineries across the road there, and they're friends of ours. So you guys are just in a good spot, and I've loved seeing you guys grow and bring on more partners and more people locally just to find out about you.
Right.
And for me, I'm like telling people, like, this is a better way to see movies. Like, maybe adjust your expectation, like you said, a little bit of like getting there early and all that,
Sure.
and like keeping your phone away. Cause like, yeah, if you go to one of the theaters around town, you might be able to do that. And if that's what you're trying to do, go for it.
Please,
Cause you
right.
can. There's plenty that you can. Like,
Absolutely.
you can talk and be loud. Alamo's like that. I just know I'm going to just be in the movie. And man, I just picture that big show counting down, and just like, it is so sharp. The projector's really good, just really nerding out. All right, what else can we talk about?
We can probably go on to the Only at the Alamo features that we're doing in the next couple months. Obviously, Batman Forever should probably be pointed out very early. We're doing a Val Kilmer tribute, and that's part of it.
Oh, this is great.
So we're going to do that this weekend.
And it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Only at the
Absolutely.
Alamo, like, you're doing stuff that nobody else is doing. This
Right.
isn't in the normal rotation of movies out on the big schedule.
And you're probably not going to see these at any other theater at the moment. This is
Right.
we get it, and this is our thing to do. So it's a national program.
Maybe
but we-
not a typical theater movie.
Correct.
I follow.
Sometimes we really try to just really hit the envelope.
Yeah.
And just see if we can, get an audience, and if it builds. And there isn't anything that we've done that's been so off the grid that no one's shown up.
Yeah.
There's-
But then it's a fun game of like, let's find these people.
And that's kind of what it's
That's the
been for the
challenge.
first 2 years. That's what we really were trying to do, was to see who our audience was and what they enjoyed. And, we are really gone back now, and we're starting to get more into the family aspect. And while Alamo is always been the bad boy in the market, we're also, a place where you can bring your 2 kids and your wife and your whole family and really see a movie that is suitable. We're not, Neanderthals. We're not running around the hall and yelling at each other, cussing or anything like that. It is
Yeah.
a family environment, but you can also make sure your kids enjoy the film, and you can have some drinks, right? I mean, and
Yeah.
you can watch anything, like we're doing Dogma early June. And we're doing it for 4 shows.
Wow.
And you know, it went up on the website last week, and it's selling like crazy.
Oh yeah, this is awesome.
So we're also doing a Jaws movie party on May 23rd, and that is going to be full of theater props.
Let me guess, you picked that one.
I didn't.
You did.
But so I did Jaws 2 and Jaws last year before. We did like a double feature. But this year it is the anniversary. So they're making sure that it's going to be at several theaters. Alamo is doing, one of the things they're really cool about is doing outdoor screenings. So Jaws kind of kicked that off years ago, and they did like an outdoor movie with Jaws in a little cove. And then they had people in the water kind of yanking on people as they were watching the movie on rafts and things, watching it on a giant screen. So they're doing that again this year, and you can go to alamo.com and find out where that is.
Okay.
But we're doing the movie party. We're going to have props, and it's going to be a fun time. They're always hosted, and it's a little bit more lax. You can, if it's a musical, you can sing with it. If it's, if it's a comedy and you want to laugh and cheer and say the lines, you can do that too.
That's why you throw on movie. That's why you throw on party.
Exactly.
Like if it's a movie party, it's more of like we're all getting together to celebrate and maybe goof off a little bit. It's not the public showing.
Correct.
I'm following.
Otherwise, come in and sit down.
You guys hiring? You guys need some...
Absolutely.
I know the culture. I'm living this culture. What else we got? What else? This is a great list. I'll shout out some that you haven't said and you can fill in the blanks. There's Hereditary, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Hurry Up Tomorrow, The Keep.
The Keep is actually a 4K restoration, and if you've never seen that, it's a Michael Mann box office bomb. But it's so different, and it stars Ian McKellen and Scott Glenn and folks that weren't popular at the time, sort of getting into the business. It's sci-fi, it's horror, it's Nazi Germany. It's really deep, but it's also not that great. It's just fun to watch.
I like The Fly.
Then you should like this.
Maybe it's in a similar vein. Like, not great. I don't know. Is this better than The Fly?
Are you saying the Jeff Goldblum Fly?
Yes.
Oh, see, I love that film.
See, I do too.
Okay.
But I don't know that a lot of people do.
Like,
I don't know. Maybe they do. Am I in part of a cult classic right now?
You absolutely are. There's no question about that. And the thing is that with that particular movie, like I referenced Brundlefly a few times, and folks will just look at me now like, what are you talking about? I'm like, damn it, you haven't seen The Fly? Come on.
Me and my wife, Carrie, we watched it. It was like, oh yeah, this is great.
It's a fantastic movie. It really is. And when just to get off topic, but when he's like, showing Gina Davis his new collection of ear and partial lip and finger, that for me just went to a whole different place.
Yes.
That's where I was like, okay, all right, I really dig that.
Need a whole episode for The Fly.
We
a
could
whole
totally, I'd
look
love
back.
to do it. Right, like a focus. We could watch it and then just do commentary on
We
it.
do like mostly superheroes theater. I love you 3000.
Okay.
Which is I just say that. It's not branded or anything, but we love Mystery Science 3000, Theater 3000. Huge,
love that show.
Like, we give the bow to that show. And we want to like do more stuff similar to that. Like we can see like maybe the movie parties are kind of becoming somewhere
absolutely
in the middle of that, or where there's commentary and stuff like that.
But that's something that we could do that we probably haven't even talked about is at Alamo. You could have, folks sitting in the front row with mics, just doing some little jokes back and forth about the movie.
Right.
And it is a very Mystery Science Theater feel.
Yes.
And that's something that, again, there's no reason why we couldn't do it.
You're open to that type of thing.
Absolutely.
Like doing because you've already kind of crossed into the movie party realm. Right. It's like there's like an in between a private event and kind of like a semi-public event or something that's like ticketed or something. And you guys have really worked with us on the screen and socials, like really like helping us out with like getting theater time before and after and stuff, like helping like people like find what theater we're going to be in. And the lobby is always my draw. Like I love getting back to the lobby, honestly. And the meaning of bar, you got a full bar.
Full, absolutely.
Like I go there and just have a beer, absolutely, like all the time.
Right.
Just to have a beer in the Foundry on a second level.
So you can see out everything. You see the highway, you see the Foundry. It's a really nice spot. And we've got TVs. We're a bar.
I like to sit at the bar, but then I usually will wander off and go sit at the window and look down the Foundry.
I just look at the traffic and go, thank God I'm not sitting in that right now.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm inside.
I can watch the game and kind of, know it's down the street, but not have to drive through it when, we're going downtown.
Okay.
So, you mentioned about the screen and socials and everything that Mostly Superheroes is doing. The fact is that our management wants so badly to let the community know that we're here, and we're here for them. And Jen John Meyer, who is our
shout out,
Absolutely. She is the one that kind of got this whole thing together. Jen John Meyer is the person that kind of organizes all of the special events that we do at the Alamo. She's the one that takes the incoming phone calls. She does the outbound. She makes sure that charities are represented. We're going to do a Pride screening here next month with Barbie, and we're going to make sure that everything that we make, 50% goes to Pride.
Well, and Pride STL needs the help right now with
They
the loss
absolutely
of Big InBev
Yes.
and AB and Jen. Shout out Jen. She has been my contact
Jen
since
is
day
awesome.
one. We've
Yep.
had lots of meetings and hang sessions. She's bouncing between Springfield and here.
Right.
So she's literally balancing two worlds, and she does a great job. And you
She
guys,
absolutely does.
and shout out Jeremy and John.
I was just going to mention them next.
I would
Right.
say I can't help it. I'm part of your guys' email
You
thread
really
now.
should just work there.
You go
Like,
ahead. You shout them out though,
No,
because you work with them every day.
and that's why I'm not going to shout them out.
You're right. See, I was trying to help you out, but it's good to know that they knew they had two shout outs.
Yes, Jen got one, but the other guy, they don't need it.
Yeah. And then the staff and the team. I've worked with so many individual people at the front bar and the front desk, just like, and the staff waiting on you. Like, everybody's been so nice and friendly. I'm sure it's no small thing managing a big team with all those theaters and all
That's
that.
something
So,
that we really, I've never had to deal with it before, but you have to take into consideration that you're running a restaurant, a bar, and a movie theater.
yeah.
So with all three of those that you're doing, you also have to make sure that when you program a showtime, you have enough time. If it's Sinners or if it's, the Thunderbolts is going to be huge, Mission Impossible, all of those big summer movies, you need to make sure that there's time in between so people can clean the theaters. And
That's the biggest thing, right? Like,
Huge.
they get so dirty. You
Yes.
just you get used to popcorn in the seat and stuff. Like, you get used to it. Like at certain theaters, you're
Sure.
like, God, this is just dirty all the time.
we try to make
It's
sure
not
all
that
of
way at the
new-
Alamo. And the bathrooms too. Bathrooms are always clean.
They are. And that's something that's awesome about the theater itself, is just that it is a new venue. So it still has that new feel, and we're making sure that it stays that way.
Awesome.
So.
Well, Mark, you guys are definitely our theater in town. Is there anything that we didn't get to talk about that we want to talk about? Things that I'm thinking we should plug for sure. Again, is that season pass, $20 a month, unlimited movies, up to one per day. That's amazing. Like, that's just a good deal. Like,
if you see two
two
movies,
movies, you got your money back. But then if you're not going that route and you're buying the individual tickets, I think they're reasonably priced. You're buying them through the Alamo. And like, even talking about our screen and social on May 10th, we're seeing Thunderbolts May 10th, a Saturday at noon.
in the big show.
In the big show. It's linked up at mostlysuperheroes.com/events, but it links straight over to the Alamo website where you get to pick your seat in
Yep.
the big show. And even for those events, it's really reasonably priced, I think, especially like compared to the other theaters in town. It's like the same price probably, and your quality of experience and movie and everything is just
Separated,
elevated.
right?
Like, for how good it is, and when you get there and you see how nice it is, you would think the tickets would be a lot more. So I'll say, like, they're reasonable.
Don't tell my owners that.
Oh, really? You're trying to get them down? Or
No, our thing is that we want to make sure that we're providing the best price and experience all in one.
yeah,
So we're not going to overcharge anyone.
That's what it
unless it's, for our events, sometimes we do have to,
Yeah.
we're doing concerts, like you said earlier, and different things. We did Neil Young last week. We're doing Bjork next month. So some of those are priced by studio. It's not so much us and what we're charging.
yeah.
But, I think that everything that we have is, it's a set price for the enjoyment that you're going to experience. And that's what we try and do all the time.
And you guys are doing philanthropy, your Charity on Tap program, one charity every quarter. That's like 4 charities a year,
Right.
where you team up with a brewery to give back to some folks. You are doing it right now through June 30th, 2025. If you're hearing this, go get a citywide. It goes to Team Jakey in the Stigma, $1.50. Before that, it was Pedal the Cause.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to shout out other folks, but this is such a great way to get plugged into local groups. So way to go.
And that's, again, all about community. And
Yeah.
that's something that Jen makes sure we hit every week. And it's one of the first topics. It's something that we always discuss because, we want to make sure that the community knows we're here and we're there for them.
Yeah. And I would say, like, if you're planning those private events, what I've learned is, it's you got to work hand in hand, right? It takes a lot of emails.
Yes, it does.
It takes getting
Right.
ahead of stuff and doing stuff early. And for you producers out there and event planners, like, you can really make it a tool for your business or for your channel or your client.
And you don't even have to, if you don't want to watch a movie, you just want to have an event. We can do that too. We
Right.
can do
Or
it.
use the big screen for something
Exactly,
else. You
right.
you said you're open to that.
We do meetings. We've had groups in that do like live stream meetings with, a nationwide group, and they just
Oh.
do it in theater.
That's cool.
So we've done a lot of that. We do Christmas parties. We, anything that you can imagine. It's rare we've said no.
Yeah,
I don't think we have yet.
And this ain't your movie theater lobby. This is
No.
the Alamo. Big windows, a lot of color.
Big screen TV out there, Apple TV, any
Oh, yes.
channels, all that,
You get-
sports.
You've put our brand up there and help us with like posters
Right.
and stuff. So
Yes.
that's great. You do like branding stuff on the big screen and stuff with private events. You guys are able to do that, or is that tricky?
Only if it's a private event, right?
private stuff.
We can't do it. Like if we just wanted to show. So
For a public showing, absolutely not.
my manager, my boss, actually, the one of the owners, had a Tommy Chong shout out for a wedding proposal that he was doing a couple 3 weeks ago, and Tommy was so high that he could not get through the entire thing and screwed the whole thing up, and so he shared it with us. And I said, we were showing a Cheech and Chong on Sunday for 420,
Right.
and I said, do you mind if we show that? He goes, no, I'm fine with that. We didn't, but
But you could have.
But we could have. we got the approval.
That's cool. Fun stuff like that.
Yes. And that's who we are. I mean, I haven't met anyone in this company that just is, oh, yeah, I've done this for 20, 30 years. And we are all excited. We love what we do. And if you don't, you're in the wrong place.
That's awesome, man. It's beautiful. It's movies. Thanks for coming and keeping us up
Thank you.
informed. Thanks for all the support over the years.
Absolutely. I will come back anytime.
Yeah,
Just say the
I
word.
would say, would you come back?
Yeah,
now that you've
absolutely.
been here, this is, not a bad space. You're comfy.
I love it.
We're on like version 10 here, and it's it's mostly superheroes, obviously,
Right.
but there's little nods. There's a lot of movies back here that you just have to like find the VHS one day when you come back.
Yes, absolutely.
But let's make it a recurring thing.
Let's do it.
Just to know, like, what I miss is calling the theater and hearing the run of all the movies.
I could do that, like what was that, Mr. Movie Line or something like
Yeah,
that?
where it would just tell you the times and
And
stuff.
then you could like push your phone to say which that
Yes.
was like the first ticket ordering system.
We might need to like bring back some kind of retro version of
We
that.
should.
That could be our first like bigger collaboration outside of the screen and social. We'll bring back movie time
Mr.
voicemails.
Movie Phone, right?
And it'll be like, it'll sound like a recording, but you're live.
I love that. I think that's a great idea.
Mark Bluestein, the programming manager and special screenings coordinator, Alamo Drafthouse St. Louis. Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love being here.
See you next time.
I will be.
That's Mostly Superheroes. Take it easy. Mostly Superheroes is proud to be funded in part by our sponsors. Mostly Superheroes is funded in part by paying patrons who receive early, ad-free, and exclusive episodes. Subscribe at mostlysuperheroes.com/support. Thank you for supporting your favorite independent podcast. Mostly Superheroes is an independent podcast owned and operated by Kerrigan Ventures in St. Louis, Missouri. Hosted by Logan Janis, Andy Hunn, and Scott Swearingen. Brand and creative by Carrie Clark Design. Music by Audionautics. Learn more at audionautics.com. Find more at mostlysuperheroes.com.